This morning we were shaken from our beds at 4:40 a.m. by the sound of two big explosions.
Sporadic emails are Melanie Allen's only form of contact with her son, Lee.
The Russians are bombing industrial areas. They're bombing anything that looks like major commerce in the country. They have bombed civilian targets all over Gori, and they certainly took out cell towers.
She is terrified. Thousands of people were killed not far from where Lee lives in the Georgia capital of Tbilisi.
What the Russians did was rebuild a railroad that gave them access into South Ossetia and right into Georgia, and they've used that railroad to bring in their military might and their tanks.
She has been glued to the TV, hoping to hear the conflict has ended. With support from her friends and local churches, Allen's trying her best to stay strong, just as Lee would want her to be. She keeps a pin he gave her when she visited him in Georgia close to her heart.
I'm going to wear this pin, I think, until they get home. It makes me feel just a little bit closer to him.
Lee is trying his best to leave the country, but is having a tough time. While overseas, he married Tico, who is a Georgia national. They applied for a visa for her more than a year ago, and although she's been through an extensive background check, Tico hasn't been issued one yet.
Now we're just desperate to get her visa processed, and we've appealed to senators and representatives in Alabama and in Mississippi to try to accelerate that process, because Lee's not going to leave Georgia without his wife.
Allen's been trying to stay calm, but it's hard with the continued fighting. Every day that passes, she grows more fearful, knowing her son is in the midst of danger.
He said that he and Tico have been sleeping in their clothes for the last several days. One of his emails, he said it was 4:40 in the morning, and they had been shaken out of their beds by the sound of bombs outside of Tbilisi.
Resilient and resourceful, Lee and his wife were able to negotiate their way to the U.S. Embassy. It was the first good news Allen's heard in days.
They are en route now from Tbilisi to the border of Armenia. Once they cross into Armenia, I can at least exhale a little bit and know that he's at least immediately, for a short time, safe.